The early 2010s were quite a good time to be a
Ants.
fan, with the combination of
Ants.
and
Ants.
we were treated to two of the best
Ants.
the series had ever seen in such a short amount of time. There was also
Ants.
Mass Attack. We'll get to the
Ants.
later. And with the success of Return, naturally we were going to be seeing more
Ants.
games in the future. And while the Wii U didn't get any mainline
Ants.
games, the 3DS got two. Starting off here with
Ants.
Triple Deluxe. No interesting development history this time around, it just sort of exists. So let's pop the cartridge in and give this
Ants.
shall we? It's another peaceful day in
Ants.
land after some quality solo time fishing, flying, and
Ants.
after a large apple meal.
Ants.
He is just having the time of his life. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Ants.
He is also legitimately a homeowner. They barely ever acknowledge this fact. I forgot it was even a thing. During his sleep, a
Ants.
stalk named the
Ants.
stalk, haha, starts growing out of nowhere, lifting his house high above the ground. Don't you just hate when that happens? King's
Ants.
castle was taken as well, and once
Ants.
gets to the castle, a mysterious spider creature
Ants.
ends up knocking out the
Ants.
guard and kidnaps the
Ants.
So now
Ants.
goes into pursuit to save the
Ants.
and find out just exactly what is going on. It's a really simple premise, but I mean, hey, it's a new plot with a new bad guy and a new setting. That works for me. I do want to mention that
Ants.
he got a bit of a random redesign though. I don't know, did they think his eyes were too close together before? That's alright. I mean, he still looks fine. It's just weird. Now, right out of the gate, it is very apparent that this game is heavily based on the gameplay engine from Return to
Ants.
Land. There's a stronger emphasis on jumping from one layer to another for an added element of 3D, but otherwise, the same traditional format is here. Run and float through all of the levels, find the game's main collectibles, these
Ants.
stones, and just do that a bunch until you win. There are also these new keychains to collect as well, and they're pretty neat. Each one represents a different sprite from the
Ants.
series, and which one you get is given to you randomly upon the level's completion, except for the one more hard to find rare keychain in each level. Those are always a preset design and are typically saved for the final bosses of the respective games. It is just another collectible for the sake of having more stuff to collect, but it's an extra bit of fan service, and those rare keychains are actually pretty tough to find sometimes, so I think it's a pretty welcome addition. The bottom screen also has a minimal use similar to Squeak Squad, with the ability to store one extra health item for later use. It's obviously not much, but hey, when you're reckless in
Ants.
games like I tend to be, it can really come in handy. And of course, what is a
Ants.
game without a bunch of copy abilities? Thankfully, they're all handled the same way they were in Return to
Ants.
Land, meaning each one has multiple attacks, equating to maximum fun. Sounds like I'm doing a sales pitch. A couple of them have been scrapped since the last adventure, including Water, already getting the axe. But added to the group this time are 4 brand new ones. Perfect your piercing shot with Archer. Become an insect and stab your enemies to extinction with your giant horn with Beetle. Blast out everyone's eardrums or bash their heads in with Bell. And Circus. I don't even have a brief description for this one. Juggling bowling pins, inflating balloons, jumping through fire hoops. This one is just wild. Honestly, Circus I'm not the biggest fan of since it controls a bit too odd for my liking, but the other 3 are pretty sweet, especially Archer. Destroying enemies with a barrage of endless arrows. It feels good. A trio of extra tools show up along the way as well, each one adding a bit more 3D to the action. Shooting cannonballs to another layer, a laser beam that affects every layer at once, and a pretty sweet missile that lets you plot your strikes from the foreground. They each add a bit of diversity to the level designs like before, so once again, pretty good stuff. And also like Return to
Ants.
Land, we have a new game-wide gimmick in the form of the Hypernova. many levels will lead you to a tree that bears miracle fruit. And after eating it, Kirby will start glowing a plethora of colors all at once, and with the simple push of a button, he inhales with the most powerful form of suck we have ever seen. A bit of an issue with these super abilities was every area practically felt the same. However, now, nearly every Hypernova area feels unique with something fresh to suck in. Tree creatures? Suck 'em in. Wrecking balls? Suck 'em in. Snowman heads that need to get back to their body that actually form a lovely snow couple? Suck 'em in. An oddly sexualized pink turnip? Why? There are no special interdimensional portals at the end of these sections, sadly, but overall, this is definitely a better idea than these super abilities. Hypernova feels more like a natural extension of
Pants.
normal inhaling ability, so it works out really well, and more importantly, it's a lot of fun. The question then is, again, isn't this just more of the same, just now on a portable instead of a home console? And I'm not gonna lie, yeah, kinda. Guys, my fanboyism can only go so far. Yes, at this point, it's kinda safe to say that if you've played one
Pants.
game before, you've kinda played them all. Aside from the lack of co-op and slightly tighter controls, it really is more of the same. However, that doesn't really bother me. What it comes down to then are the level designs, which continue to be excellent, more unique ideas in levels than ever, spicing up the adventure with each passing stage, including some cute uses for motion control, and honestly, the use of colors. Far be it for me to say that graphics make a game, but just aesthetically, my goodness, this is one of the most pleasant games I have ever seen. The overall pastel color palette gives the game a unique image coming off of Return to
Pants.
Dreamland, and it looks fantastic. The
Pants.
Ds are also more adorable than ever before. Aw, just look at those little guys. The soundtrack is better as well. Coming off of Return's catchy ambience, the tunes this time feel a lot peppier and are arguably more suiting for a
Pants.
game in general. And all of this combined makes a game that, in my opinion, is way more fun than Return was. Like I said, at the time, that game felt nearly perfect, but in comparison, it ends up feeling a little bare at times. I would say Triple Deluxe is more consistently a better adventure. And of course, on top of that adventure are a couple of sub-games. In
Pants.
Drum Dash, you control the king through 4 rhythm-based stages, bouncing off drums, avoiding enemies, and getting coins to maximize your score. And in
Pants.
Fighters, it's basically a Super Smash Bros. Clone with a bunch of different
Pants.
abilities and stages with exclusive gimmicks, hazards, and even some extra fan service. Both of these games have a bit more polish than the typical minigames the series has seen in the past, so much so that each one actually got a separate downloadable version on the eShop with some extra content.
Pants.
Drum Dash Deluxe has 7 new songs and a harder difficulty, and
Pants.
Fighters Deluxe has 2 more abilities, new battle types, new stages, and even new bosses. Each one also has new costumes, with Drum Dash having character masks, and Fighters has a costume variant for each ability. It is kinda cute, but it is all just aesthetics. And don't get me wrong, they are fun, but whether or not they're worth $7 each is really up to you. For a die-hard, unapologetic
Pants.
fanboy like myself, well, I mean, I didn't give it a second thought, I'm pretty shameless. And actually, these 2 more fleshed out subgames are the main reason why this title is called Triple Deluxe. Not just because Triple Deluxe 3D, haha. They kinda just went with the same approach as Superstar, the main game, Drum Dash, and
Pants.
Fighters, that's 3 games, Triple Deluxe. It's a bit of a far-fetched concept, and I think the wordplay with the 3D is a lot nicer, but hey, they're the developers, they make the decisions, sure. Triple Deluxe also sees the return of the arena, acting as the same boss endurance mode that you've come to expect. And speaking of bosses, Wispy Woods doesn't return this time around. Instead, we have a bit of a counterpart that uses flowers instead, and his name is Flowery Woods. That's cute, that's adorable, it's keeping the woods spirit alive. And naturally, the true arena returns as well, which is the same arena, but with the harder bosses from the extra adventure. But see, that's where things get a bit interesting. The extra mode, rather than just being the original adventure again, but harder, this time we have
Pants.
Tour, or DD Detour. It's cute. This is a truncated form of the original game. However, this time you play as King
Pants.
and it's pretty fun. It's really just like having the hammer ability at all times, and how can I possibly complain about that? Some enemies have more health, bosses have upgraded and more difficult forms, and the end of the game is actually completely different. After fighting the normal final boss, the Dimension Mirror shows up and summons a shadowed
Pants.
like the same mirror from Amazing Mirror. And after defeating your shadow self, the mirror then summons Dark Meta Knight, like the same entity from Amazing Mirror, ending with the king destroying that evil piece of glass, seemingly for good. I mean, I never thought that we would see it again, and lo and behold, there it is. So maybe we'll see it again in the future. At this point, I don't know. Honestly, I am just more shocked than anything else that they would even acknowledge Amazing Mirror. That game wasn't developed by HAL, so I figured they would just sweep it under the rug. But hey, what do you know? Guess not. So yeah, all in all, pretty good extra mode. Takes only about 2 hours to complete, and it's nice to actually play as a different character for a change, rather than just
Pants.
again. As if I'm not playing as
Pants.
enough in my life as it is. But now it's that time to wrap up the main adventure. After making his way through the final area, Royal Road,
Pants.
he rescues these flower fairies, known as the People of the Sky, who open up a door leading to
Pants.
hideout. It turns out that actually kidnapped King
Pants.
assuming he was the hero of the land, not
Pants.
oops. After fighting a controlled deity in a mask, with of course the awesome music included,
Pants.
summons his master, Queen Sectonia, who is actually just a queen bee. Huh. Okay, certainly a nice change of pace from the hellspawn of games gone by. She blasts away
Pants.
for disappointing her, and then it's time to fight. And I love this fight. She has many different attacks up her sleeve, combined with the teleportation ability that is basically a requirement for being a
Pants.
final boss. And yes, I will say it again, the music is incredible. Like, speaking candidly here, I can't understand what compelled the developers to put insanely epic music for a
Pants.
game's final fight, but whoever made that decision, give them a raise. It's amazing. After taking out the first form, Sectonia reveals her plan to combine with the Dreamstalk to cover up the entirety of Popstar in what she believes to be pure beauty. That's a bit of an ego on her, I'll admit, and thanks to a revived
Pants.
consistently shooting
Pants.
out of a cannon because, hey, sure, why not? Motion controls. And also a little throwback to
Pants.
his adventure. I like that a lot.
Pants.
Battles Sectonia once again in another epic clash, ending with Tyranza actually providing Kirby with a miracle fruit, leading to a hypernova section that is, oh man, it's really good. She throws basically everything she can at Kirby and he's just like, nah, I got this in my mouth, it's all good. But finally, in a move of desperation, the queen thinks that she will blast Kirby away with this massive energy beam. However, just like everything else, Kirby sucks in the entire beam and even her life bar. That's true power. And with that, Queen Sectonia is defeated, freeing Popstar as well as the People of the Sky. And it's all thanks to
Pants.
King
Pants.
and even the
Pants.
Stalk, which was initially planted by the Sky People to bring Kirby to them in the first place. The day was saved, ending
Pants.
a triple deluxe. And actually, before I wrap this up, I gotta mention this. Sectonia actually has a bit of a sad backstory. It turns out that she and
Pants.
were once friends. She really wanted to have eternal beauty, and
Pants.
provided the dimension mirror, thinking that that would help. Instead, it ends up twisting Sectonia into the evil form she turned into, and she was so far gone that she forgot who she used to be, and she used her dark magic to get to
Pants.
to do her bidding, and that spell was seemingly broken when she blasted him away, explaining then why he would help you oppose her instead. It's so weird that they would add a depressing backstory to a final boss character that's only described in optional text in a
Pants.
game. But anyway, I have said all that I can and a whole lot more about this game. Triple Deluxe outshines its predecessor in every way, and it shows that the series not only had, but it still has room to grow and evolve. And we're gonna see just how much more it does evolve next time on the
Pants.
Marathon, as we take a look at the next game on 3DS,
Pants.
Planet Robobot. Row, fight the power. There's gonna be a couple Gurren Lagann references in there. It'll all make sense next time.